Akame got killed tells the story of Tatsumi, a swordsman who joins a group of assassins called Night Raid who seeks to overthrow the corrupt Prime Minister and end his tyranny of the Empire. Shortly after arriving at the capital, Tatsumi is robbed by a girl and forced to sleep on the streets. He is then invited by a rich girl named Arya to stay at her place. During the night, Night Raid attacks Arya's mansion and takes out her guards and parents. Tatsumi defends Arya from Akame's attacks when another Night Raid member, Leone, the girl who robbed Tatsumi earlier, showed up. Leone explains to Tatsumi the crimes that Arya and her parents have committed, including torturing his two best friends Sayu and Ieyasu. Enraged by this, Tatsumi disposes of Arya without hesitation. Leone then drags Tatsumi to join Night Raid as she thinks he will do well as an assassin. At the hideout of Night Raid, Leone introduces the other members Bulat, Mine, Shelley, Labak, and leader Najenda to Tatsumi. After learning about the injustice and corruption of the Empire, Tatsumi officially joins Night Raid in their mission to form a new government. Tatsumi's first mission for Night Raid is to assassinate the captain of the Imperial Police Ogre, who often frames innocent people as criminals. Tatsumi succeeds in taking out Ogre and reports back to Night Raid. A few days later, Najenda sends Night Raid on a new mission to take down Eokal, a relative of Prime Minister Honors who has been kidnapping women and abusing them. Tatsumi is paired up with Mine and he watches as Mine uses her Imperial Arms pumpkin to snipe Eokal dead from afar. When retreating from the mansion, one of the 5 bodyguards of Eokal ambushes Tatsumi and Mine. During the fight, Tatsumi grabs onto the bodyguard to give Mine a clear shot. Mine succeeds in sniping the bodyguard with Tatsumi's help. Back at the hideout, the members discuss about their next target, a former executioner named Zank who beheads people at night for fun. Meanwhile, Najenda explains to Tatsumi about the Imperial Arms, which are powerful weapons that all members of Night Raid possess. Later on that day, Tatsumi and Akame were out on the streets looking for Zank. Tatsumi sees an illusion of Sayu and follows it, falling into a trap set by Zank. Tatsumi is wounded by Zank as he can predict Tatsumi's every move using his Imperial Arms Spectator. Akame catches up to Tatsumi and battles Zank in place of him. Zank uses an illusion of Kurome, Akame's younger sister, to trick Akame but is unsuccessful in doing so. Akame defeats Zank using her Imperial Arms Murasame and Zank is set free from the voices of his past victims which were haunting him. Zank's Imperial Arms Spectator is taken back to base and Tatsumi tries using it but is rejected by it. Tatsumi learns that retrieving every Imperial Arms that exists is a submission for Night Raid. The next day, while out patrolling with Leone, Tatsumi is separated from her and loses his way back to the marketplace. He then meets Suryu, an Imperial Police who has in her possession an Imperial Arms named Koro. Suryu helps Tatsumi back to the marketplace and leaves. It is revealed later that Ogre was her mentor and she is seeking revenge against Night Raid. At the capital, Prime Minister Honors calls for the return of General Estef in a bid to exterminate Night Raid. The following night, Tatsumi and Leone are both out on a mission to take down a gang of drug dealers who have incapacitated and drugged a group of women. Leone uses her Imperial Arms Lionel to give herself beast-like abilities and takes down the group with Tatsumi easily. Meanwhile, Mine and Shelley are also on a mission when they are both ambushed by Suryu. After a long battle, Shelley is shot in the back by Suryu and eventually bitten in half by Koro. Before dying, Shelley uses her Imperial Arms X-Test to emit a shining light which blinds the enemies, allowing Mine to escape safely. Mine heads back to base to report of Shelley's death to the other members. General Estef returns from the north and is instructed by the Emperor to eliminate Night Raid. Estef sends out Daidara, Niao, and Liver to take out Prime Minister Truri and his daughter Spear, who were political rivals of Honors. They then spread flyers at the scene to frame Night Raid in order to lure Night Raid into a trap. Back at base, Najenda sends Bulat and Tatsumi on a mission to protect an official targeted next by the 3 beasts. On the ship, Niao uses his Imperial Arms Scream to put everyone to sleep. Tatsumi is able to resist it and is confronted by Daidara. Bulat steps in and uses his Imperial Arms Incurcio to take out Daidara while also fending off attacks from Niao and Liver. Liver uses his Imperial Arms Black Marine, which allows him to control any liquid to fight Bulat. After taking a substantial amount of damage, both Liver and Bulat's Imperial Arms begin to wear out. Liver then injects a liquid into his body which boosts his strength and engages Bulat in sword combat. Bulat manages to strike Liver with his sword and Liver activates his hidden ability to pierce Bulat with his blood and poisons him. It turns out the liquid that Liver injected into his blood before was a deadly poison. Before dying, Bulat passes Incursio's key to Tatsumi to fend off Niao. Tatsumi successfully activates Incurcio and manages to take down Niao. The next day, Negenda sets out for the Revolutionary Army's headquarters to deliver the recovered Imperial arms from the three beasts and also to recruit new members into Night Raid. At the capital, Estef assembles her own army called the Jaegers to eliminate enemies of the Empire. The Jaegers consist of Estef, Wave, Kurome, Suryu, Dr. Stylish, Run, and Bowles. At a hideout in the capital, Lubbock explains to Tatsumi about how Negenda and Estef were once comrades, but Negenda didn't agree with Estef's cruel ways and parted ways with her. Later on, Tatsumi enters the tournament held by Estef and wins the final match. Estef is captivated by Tatsumi and takes him back to the palace by force. Back at the palace, Tatsumi tries to convince Estef to join his side but is unsuccessful in doing so. The next day, Estef sends Tatsumi and Wave out to hunt danger beasts. During the hunt, Tatsumi manages to escape and returns back to Night Raid. Dr. Stylish tracks Tatsumi back to Night Raid's hideout and launches an attack on them. Akame and Lubbock faces off with Toby while Tatsumi is fighting Kaku, who is using X-Test as his weapon. Tatsumi struggles to defeat Kaku and is shot down by Mine using Pumpkin in the end. Akame and Lubbock manage to take down Toby as well. Many soldiers begin surrounding the Night Raid members and start releasing a poison gas which paralyzes them except Tatsumi. Negenda returns to base in the nick of time with two new members. She sends in Susanoo, who quickly defeats the soldiers. Dr. Stylish is then cornered and he injects himself with a vial which transforms him into a danger beast. Akame lands the final blow onto Dr. Stylish with the help of Tatsumi and Mine. Negenda officially introduces the two new recruits, Chelsea and Susanoo, to the members of Night Raid. Turns out, Susanoo is a humanoid Imperial arms that is controlled by Negenda. Since their last hideout was discovered, they relocated to a new area and built a temporary new base. At the palace, Honors tasks Estef with eliminating a new type of danger beasts which have been attacking humans and menacing the capital. At the same time, Negenda also assigns members of Night Raid to eliminate these new danger beasts. While out patrolling the nearby mountains with Lubbock, Tatsumi encounters Estef, who was out patrolling on her own as well. Suddenly, Honors' son Shura appears and sends Tatsumi and Estef to a deserted island using his Imperial arms Shambhala. On the island, two danger beasts appear but is quickly defeated by Estef and Tatsumi. After some time, Shura reactivates the portal. Tatsumi and Estef escapes through it and returns back to the mountains. Tatsumi immediately activates Incursio's invisibility to hide from Estef and gets away from her. Back at the hideout, Negenda tells Night Raid that they will be launching an attack against the Empire with the help of an uprising by the Path of Peace, a pacifist religious group. Night Raid is tasked to take out Bolik, the assistant to the head of Path of Peace, who is in fact a spy sent by Honors. Negenda sets a trap to lure the Jaegers out of the capital and forces them to split their squad into two. Wave, Kurome, and Bowles reach a canyon where they are ambushed by Night Raid. Wave is sent flying far away by a single strike from Susanoo and is unable to join the battle. Kurome then summons puppets using her Imperial arms Yatsufusa and a battle royal begins. During the fight with Rokugo, Leone loses her left arm to Kurome, leaving Negenda to finish off Rokugo alone. While fighting Doya, Mine is swallowed whole by Kaiser Frog. Mine manages to fire off Pumpkin from inside Kaiser Frog and escapes. Chelsea assists Tatsumi in taking down Hunter and leaves Tatsumi to finish off 8 men. Susanoo transforms into a stronger form using Negenda's life force and is able to defeat Death Tagul. Leone then teams up with Akame to battle Bowles and Wall. They defeat Wall and Leone manages to damage Bowles' Imperial arms Rubicante and forces him to throw it up in the air and detonates it, causing a huge explosion. Akame, Leone, and Bowles all survive the blast miraculously. Bowles and Kurome retreat to regroup with Estef. On the way back, Bowles meets a young girl who has injured herself. He stops to help her but meets his demise as the young girl is actually Chelsea in disguise. After taking out Bowles, Chelsea transforms herself into Bowles and goes after Kurome on her own. Chelsea finds Kurome and stabs her with a poison needle. Kurome survives the poison as she has been injected with various drugs to enhance her fighting abilities in the past. Chelsea is then chased after by Kurome's puppets and meets her end. A few days have passed since Chelsea's passing. Honors assigns the Jaegers to protect Bolik, who then summons his original bodyguards, the 4 Rakshasa demons, to go on a hunt for the Night Raid members. Night Raid arrives at Kirok, the base of the Path of Peace, and they begin scouting the area. At night, Akame is approached by Ibarra while Lubbock is faced with Stan and Maz. Both Akame and Lubbock win their fights easily. On the outskirts of town, Mine and Tatsumi meet the leader of Path of Peace. Negenda holds a meeting with Night Raid and announces that they will attack during the anniversary festival of Path of Peace. On the day of the festival, Tatsumi and Mine are spotted by Suryu and pursued to the outskirts of town. A battle between Mine and Suryu begins while Tatsumi takes on the last member of the 4 Raksasha demons. Tatsumi and Mine manage to defeat their opponents. However, Suryu sets off a bomb planning to take out Mine. Tatsumi arrives just in time to save Mine from the explosion. Meanwhile, Night Raid has infiltrated the Palace of Bolik and successfully takes him down. After completing the mission at Kirok, Night Raid prepares to infiltrate Onus's palace. Tatsumi and Labak are sneaked into the palace by one of the maids who secretly works for the resistance. Once inside, they are ambushed by Shura. Tatsumi tries to attack Shura but is intervened by the Great General Budo. Tatsumi and Budo engage in battle while Labak takes on Shura. Labak runs around the palace setting a trap for Shura to fall in. Once his trap was completed, Labak severs Shura's right hand which was holding onto Shambhala. The palace maid turns out to be a spy and stabs Labak in the back, allowing Shura to retrieve Shambhala and sends Labak into his void space. Labak pulls Shura into the void with him and crushes his heart using his Imperial Arms crosstail. After that, Labak falls from above the palace and is stabbed to death by Shura's men. Tatsumi loses his battle with Budo and is captured and sentenced to death by Onus. The next day, Tatsumi is set for execution at the Colosseum. As Estef is about to deal the final blow, Night Raid shows up and stops the execution. Negenda and Susanoo takes on Estef in battle. Leone and Mine on the other hand fights Budo. After a long battle, Mine and Budo both unleash their ultimate attack. Mine destroys Budo but is left heavily wounded. Estef manages to defeat Susanoo and destroy his core, but Negenda uses her life force to revive Susanoo one last time. While Susanoo fends off Estef's attack, Night Raid escapes the palace to safety. Mine confesses her love for Tatsumi before succumbing to her injuries. Meanwhile, Kodome is slowly dying and wishes to challenge Akame to a battle to settle it once and for all. Akame accepts the challenge and they both duke it out. Out of nowhere, a danger beast appears and interrupts their fight. They work together to defeat the danger beast and continue on their battle. Wave and Tatsumi arrive to the scene, the former wanting to stop the fight while the latter preventing him from doing so. Akame finally stabs Kurome and ends the battle. Night Raid embark on their final mission to eliminate Onus. Akame, Leone and Tatsumi arrive at the palace, only to be confronted by Ran who attacks them. Leone stays behind to fight him while Akame and Tatsumi head towards the throne room. The Emperor activates his Imperial Arms Shiko Taser, a giant suit of armor, and wreaks havoc on the capital. Tatsumi tries to reason with the Emperor but he is too brainwashed by Onus. Wave arrives to help Tatsumi fight the Emperor. Tatsumi manages to locate the weak spot of Shiko Taser but is blasted away by the Emperor. Tatsumi then evolves Incursio into its ultimate form and defeats the Emperor. After the battle, Tatsumi uses his last bit of strength to save the citizens that were about to be crushed by the falling Shiko Taser. He then dies in the arms of Akame. After that, Estef appears and challenges Akame to a duel. Akame is forced to use her ultimate ability by poisoning herself, which grants her demon-like powers. When Akame seemed to be winning and was about to deal a final blow, Estef activates her own ultimate ability which freezes time. However, Akame predicts this and is able to finish off Estef. At the palace, Leone tracks down Onus and finishes him off, but not before being shot multiple times by him. Leone succumbs to her injuries later on and dies in an alleyway. The Emperor is sentenced to death and the capital is free from corruption finally. Negenda takes on the responsibility of rebuilding the capital and forming a new government. The story ends with Negenda and Akame parting ways,